Hello and welcome to Science and UCAT. In this video, I'll be talking about situational judgment, or SJT as it's also called, and I'll be going over a little information and over two example questions. So to start with, here's the quick info. We have 69 questions that need to be completed in 26 minutes, which is approximately 23 seconds per question. The score when you've finished the test overall, because this is the final subtest, once you've finished, you'll be given a score of a band between 1 and 4. So band 1 being the highest, as in you've scored the highest amount of marks and whatnot, and band 4 being that you've scored very poorly. There are two types of SJT questions, that one being select from a range of very appropriate to not very appropriate. So this will be very appropriate to not totally or not very appropriate, and then not very appropriate to inappropriate. And then it's the same with the range of important to not important at all, but the scenarios will be quite different to each other. So let's move on. You got to remember, with SJT, the right answer is always within the information that's given to you. You can't just think that you know what the answer is. It's usually the information that they've given to you, and they specifically want you to think like a doctor, basically. And so for that, you need to read through the GMC guidelines first, be aware of them, be accustomed to them too, and familiarize yourself with them. And not only would it be useful for the UCAT, but it'll also be useful for the interviews too, because some of the questions that they ask you can be regarding how you would approach the situation through the GMC guidelines. And obviously, to be able to understand the differences between the choices that you have, there it is very important to practice. Like the UCAT motto, practice, practice, practice. It is very important that you know the difference between the multiple choice answers. And so let's get started with the first example question. So if you would like to, you could pause the video right here and answer it. Read the text given to you and answer the question, and then have it with you and when you're ready to start, basically. So, as part of the first hospital placement at medical school, Todd's preparing blah 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 blah. You've already read this. So how appropriate are each of the following responses by Todd in this situation? So that is the question, and this is what you're trying to rate. So what you've been given here is that what he's thinking is take a deep breath, keep calm, and go to the observation. So here we would have to rate whether it's very appropriate but not ideal, or inappropriate but not awful, and finally very inappropriate thing to do. So as we can see here, he's feeling almost sick with dread and nerves. And so with this information here, we can straight away tell that just by taking a deep breath and keeping calm and being present at the observation would not really settle him enough to not be distracted during the observation. So with this being sick with dread is not truly ideal for him whilst he's at the observation. But knowing that he needs to get over it at some point is very important. This point here is like a very appropriate thing for him to do. However, just taking a deep breath and keeping calm isn't really enough. He should try to address his concern, address why he's feeling the way he is. And so the reason why it's not very appropriate to do so is because that he will basically become a distraction. He wouldn't be able to focus, and so the observation will not be very beneficial to him if he's not listening or isn't focused. So the answer would be B, appropriate but not ideal. As it's true, he needs to get over it. He needs to be able to surpass the dread. However, not making it known that he has this dread, this feeling, could make it quite difficult for him, and he might not be able to ease into it properly. And so let's move on to the next question. Here's the answer, first of all. As you can see, here's a little answer explanation. It might be better than the way I explained it, but this is what they want people to go through. This is the sort of thought pattern, thought process against these options to choose for. So as you can see, a lot of people chose very appropriate thing to do. The right answer is this, but if you were using a resource like Medify, I think it will show your answer as orange, as because in SJT they're looking for you to not only have the right answer but also the answer that is quite close to it. So I'm pretty sure you get 2 marks for the correct answer and 1 mark for the one that it's quite close to. So these people here who chose A would have gotten 1 mark. So let's move on to the next question. So here again, so this will be the same question, same text, but the what we have to rate would be different. So tell the nurse that he is feeling unwell and doesn't want to go. And so if we to read through here, well, it's good that he's told the nurse that he's feeling sick and that his nerves are basically letting him down. However, not going, it's definitely not the right thing to do. He should be there, and as he knows that he has to get over it at some point, it is not ideal for him to not go. However, him telling his feelings is probably one of the most appropriate things to do. Obviously, we can't choose this as the second part says don't go. So this sort of balances it a little, so it lowers the appropriateness. So it says, so it must be B, appropriate but not ideal. And so we have that here. We have the explanation here, right at the bottom, and the answer is B. See, this would have been a very difficult one to understand, seeing that it could be an inappropriate answer. It could have been. However, he told the nurse that the way he is feeling and doesn't want to go. But by telling the nurse, obviously, the nurse would have been able to encourage the student, and it would have helped him more than not telling her and just leaving. So this would be a more appropriate than inappropriate course of action. And so this is the end of my video. Thank you for watching. Do make sure to like, share and subscribe to my video, and do stick around for my future videos. There'll be more to do with the UCAT, and I'll try to do some videos on some A-level or GCSE subjects like maths, chemistry and biology. Again, thank you for watching.